Morning, everyone. My name is Mrs. Caroline Odo, an educator spanning over 15 years. And I'm here once again on our free webinar, Intentional Parenting, to talk about tips on preparing your children to write exams. We know that we are in the exam period. Promotional exams are ongoing right now in all the different schools all over Nigeria. So we need to help prepare our children to write exams and have good grades. And at the end of it, make us proud. I'm going to share our screen right now. So there we go. Intentional parenting, effective ways to help your child or children prepare for exams. And what we really want to talk about are the tips to help your child prepare for exams. The next slide will see a picture of a child writing exams or children writing exams. So let's look at what exam is all about. Examination period can be a stressful time for both the parents and the child, and that is true. Most of the times when our children are writing their exams, we are the ones actually feeling the stress because we have to sit up with them, we have to ensure they read, we have to prep them all. So how do we go about it to make it a lot simpler for us and also make our children achieve those beautiful, great grades that we are expecting from them? So while exams can't measure every aspect of the child's strengths and are not necessarily indicators of future results and aspirations, exams are, however, a good check to know where your child is educationally. So that's the importance of examination. Of course, we can do away with examinations, that's the truth, and continue to teach children, but we need to know what have they learned, what's the feedback, can they actually do what they've been taught or told to do so far. So we have termly examinations, and I tell you, they actually help our children, keep them focused, keep them on their toes, keep them, in tune to their education and help them to read. So let's look at the next slide. Now let's look at the few tips that are important to help our child or children prepare for examinations. Number one, start revision early, at least 2 weeks before the exams. You should start with scheduling regular periods in the evening to study. If evenings are not good enough for you, do it in the morning when you wake up very early, 30 minutes, 1 hour. Wake your child up, do revision, whatsoever time is convenient for you. This way, they will be able to cover all the topics and be more confident as the day of exam approaches. Not a situation whereby your child is probably afraid, oh, mommy, daddy, exams are going on, I don't think I'm going to pass. They'll be afraid if they've not studied. Also, for younger children, it's better to revise often for short periods than for long periods just before exam day. Revise with them, short periods, not long ones for younger children because they can't really attend much. And their concentration span is not as good as mature children. So point number two, find a quiet place to revise. Young children get easily distracted, and mostly when they are doing schoolwork. So it's important to minimize or eliminate all distractions for effective revision. Find a space at home where your child can have an uninterrupted revision for half an hour and ensure all TVs are turned off. And also keep their siblings too separated during exams. Probably keep this one in this room, the other one in the study, the other one in, anywhere. Just keep them separated and keep them studying. 30 minutes, an hour, that's just enough for them. Okay, now let's move to the next slide. Let's move to the next slide. Okay, point number 3. Align revision tactics to your child's preferred learning style or interest. Now let's see what this means. Children have different ways that they prefer to learn. Some learn through visual, what they can see, some verbal, what they, you talk to them about explanations, some social in the way they interact. So if our child is a visual learner, look for to videos to make revision more engaging. If your child loves football, look for football themed worksheets and ways to relate topics to football. A social learner might benefit more from studying with a sibling and parent rather than the parent alone. So you need to know what suits your child and follow suit to get or to arrive at a greater result. Then number 4, find a practice exam. If your child is taking a standardized test, try and get past question papers, even for school exams. Look for exam papers of the previous years. Past exam papers help your child learn not just what type of questions are on the exam, but how the exam is structured and formatted. Every school have their own structure of certain exams. So if your child is introduced or exposed to past questions, then I tell you that child will do better than others that were not. Now let's look at number 5. Plan time out for regular breaks. Children in primary schools' average attention span, which we've discussed earlier, is around 30 minutes. Concentration reduced significantly after that. So short and regular break are necessary after every 30 to 60 minutes. These brief breaks can reduce stress, improve memory, and do what? Increase concentration. So don't just keep a child reading, like we can see here in our next, let's look at our next slide. You can see a picture of a child reading and on and on and on, probably an hour, 30 minutes. No, that child is not getting anything. The most important thing is within 30 minutes, 40 minutes, the child has gotten something in. You take a break, come back again another 30 minutes. You go on short breaks like that. They actually help the child learn and concentrate better. Okay, let's move to the next slide. Here we have point number 6. Do the hard stuff first. Let's look at what this is telling us. So with their short attention span and need for regular breaks, it is more effective to tackle the hard stuff that is their weak points first. Children are at their most alert when they first start a revision session. So this is the best time to do difficult subjects or area. Also, as concentration can be extended further when they get to subjects they like or areas they are generally good at and find enjoyable. And that's the truth. So while they are alert, while you're just starting off, start with things that are difficult, things that are stressful, so that as you go on and their concentration span keeps diminishing, you will have achieved a lot. I'll probably bring in something, a subject the child loves so much, and the child will just be smiling and grinning through that. Okay, now let's look at point number 7. Make revision fun. Play fun games like nine jackets games, of course. Make revision more interesting with games. Research shows that long-term retention is achieved when learning is fun and engaging. That's the truth. That's what research shows. When a child is having fun. Niger Kids games can be used as a fun revision tool. It improves retention, give immediate feedback on wrong answers, and eliminate hassles of marking worksheets for the parents. Subscribe today at NigerKids.com for your child to play fun educational games. All right, now let's move on to the next slide. Now, lastly, make sure your child goes to bed early the night before. Your child needs plenty of sleep before they take their exam. They should have at least 8 hours of sleep so that they are alert when taking their exams. Now, I wish all our children all the best in their exams. Okay, now let's move to the next slide. Here you see a parent actually sitting with a daughter, and they are doing what? Doing revision for exams. So I encourage every of our parents present today to please do not think your child can do it all alone. Monitor that child, guide them, help them, help them to excel, help them to be the best they can be, help them to achieve that goal which you have set for them. Probably you've told them, if you take first in the class, I'm going to do this for you, I'll buy this, I'll do this, I'll take you on a trip. Now, how do you ensure that happens? We need to sit with them. We need to encourage them. We need to help them. Okay, now let's move to the next slide. Is how can a child prepare for a test? Now let's look at easy ways a child can easily prepare for a test. Help your child map out a test taking study schedule, test exams. They are all assessments. So you help your child map out a test taking study schedule. That means set out a timetable as to how the reading will take place, then determine what kinds of questions will be on the test. You can actually ask your child, when once that your child has finished reading, ask your child likely questions. Oh, you finished reading this topic. Can I ask you questions? Yes, then you probably set questions for your child and the child answers. If your child is capable of answering that question, then in the example, he or she or test, he or she will do very well. Ask your child what he thinks is going to be on the test. Ask your children, what do you think is going to be in your exams? What questions do you think your teachers will ask? While you were in class, what areas were the revision areas the teacher touched on? Now, if your child, you know, who listened in class can actually reply and tell you, oh, my teacher said we should concentrate on this, my teacher did this during the revision, then those areas definitely will come. Then remember test taking basics, teach test taking skills, follow up with test taking. So it's all about follow up on your test, on exams. You follow up. Make sure that you don't relent. You make your child sit up, you make your child continue to read and read and read and read for better results. Now let's move on to the next slide. Let's move to the next slide. Here we have download and save a copy of the flyer. Establish a routine. Have a dedicated study area. Take notes for online classes. Keep a routine for physical activity. Don't forget your social time. Create a study plan and share it with others. Eat well, sleep well, avoid multitasking. These are all steps to help our children to excel during their exams, during their tests. Let them take notes, let them have dedicated study area, quiet place for them to, concentrate better. So these are all tips. All right, now let's finally look at this slide. 7 tips to prepare kids for exams. Schedule study times, like we said earlier. The time that is convenient for you, convenient for your child. Find a quiet place to study. So if you can just have this at your fingertips, you're good to go. Get up early in the morning and study. Take time out for regular breaks. Have fun with friends and laugh a lot. Just have fun. Enjoy the time. Encourage instead of complaining. Encourage your child. Don't complain. Don't make them feel they're not ready for the exams. Are you sure you're going to pass? Are you sure you have read? No, I don't think you'll pass. And if you don't pass, this is what I will do. No, that we don't need discouragement. We need to encourage them. Now keep communication open. Your child should be able to give you feedback. Oh, mom, I understand this topic. Oh, or I do not understand this topic. Can you go over it again? That will help your child if there is open communication between, the parents and the child. So I really wish our children, even at this time, I wish them good success in their exams as they go on with their exams. Once again, my name is Mrs. Caroline Udo, your educator for the evening. Visit me on Caroline Udo, my Facebook, Instagram, on WhatsApp. Our services are widespread. Just give us a call. We are one step ahead to help you, to help your child excel and do very well. All right, we're going to stop share now. So till we meet again, bye bye.